What's up, y'all? How's it going? So I got that Roadrunner Records special I promised last time, so I'm going through my top 20 albums from Roadrunner Records. Obviously, this is going to be mostly older stuff. I only have one record from the present day, but it's from like 2005 or whatever, so yeah. Normally when I do a top list, I usually go alphabetical order, but this time I decided to go chronological because that seemed to be the best way since I'm talking about a specific label, not necessarily a genre, so yeah. Let's get into it, but first what we're listening to, might as well listen to a Roadrunner record in the background. This didn't quite make the list, but still a good record nevertheless. So we're going to be listening to Carnival Retaliation. Good Brooklyn, kind of goofy crossover thrash from the late 80s, I think. Yeah, 87 is when this came out, so yeah. Obviously, Type O Negative is definitely, well, a lot bigger, more known than these guys were, but I prefer them because I'm not really a Type O fan, but yeah. It's good, kind of goofy, juvenile thrash from the mid-80s, yep. Good record. I'm sure if you know thrash, it's a classic. Alrighty, first up, so this one I forgot was actually put out through Roadrunner back in the day, because this is a Metal Blade reissue, because they've been on Metal Blade forever, so I always forget that they had a Roadrunner start back in the day. So this is Merciful Fate, Don't Break the Oath. So I've mentioned a few times that I definitely prefer this over Melissa, which that's not really saying much because both are classics, but and I honestly like the solo King Diamond stuff more than Merciful Fate, so that might be a hot take, but oh well. But yeah. Favorites on this one, probably A Dangerous Meeting, Desecration of Souls, Welcome Princess of Hell, and Come to the Sabbath, especially Come to the Sabbath. That's definitely the best. One of the best Merciful Fate songs, but yeah. Super iconic cover art, though. Definitely one of the best, so let me show you that one. So there's that. In the back, you see the Metal Blade logo. Obviously, this is who put it out for the reissue since they've been on Metal Blade forever. Cool, like, replica, like, mini vinyl CD thing, which even the CD looks like a record, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So definitely the best Merciful Fate record in my opinion, but like I said, I still prefer King Diamond solo, but oh well, the first, like, 4 or 5 Merciful Fate records are all great though, so yeah. Yep, killer record, obviously, Merciful Fate, Don't Break the Oath, 1984. I'll try to remember what year these all came up, but there's a possibility I might screw something up, but oh well. So this band, if you look on Discogs, it says Metal Blade. Once you do more research, this original LP copy was in the States was Metal Blade, but the European version was through Roadrunner, so you could argue that's cheating, but it was technically put out through Roadrunner back in the day, so I'm including it anyway, so oh well. This is Voivod, War and Pain. Of their first 3 records of the pure thrash era, this is my least favorite, but it was the only one put out through Roadrunner, so it's the only one I can count for this video, obviously, but yeah. If I had to suggest one from their first 3 records, it would definitely be Killing Technology. That's easily one of my favorite records that they've ever done, but this record's good too, though. Definitely the Voivod's most primitive in your face, which they got more progressive the first 2. No, it was super, like, knuckle dragging, kind of like punky thrash, so it's like Motorhead mixed with Discharge, mixed with Celtic Frost, kind of, is what I've seen people compare this to. It's definitely a good comparison, but even back in the day, they had their own sound because of their country, they had their own unique sound to them, so yeah. And it's Voivod, so even back then they were kind of weird, but this is like their least weird, just their most straightforward, in-your-face aggressive record, so anyway. There's the front of that one. I know I've shown these before in my vinyl collections, but some of these has been a while since I've shown, so I want to show them again. So, you can't really see that, I'm sorry about that kind of shitty image, but you can see the back. Favorite on this one, the song Voivod, Iron Gain, Blower, and Nuclear War are the highlights, but yeah. Awesome. And then you have a bonus track, The Gallows, which was taken from Metal Massacre Volume 5, I think, so yeah. Killer. This is a 2017 Metal Blade reissue. Cool red for this pressing. And this comes with a poster, I think. Yeah. Giant poster, which is the album cover though, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to put away, so I'm not going to bother showing you that, but here's the cool insert though. all the lyrics, and then a picture from back in the day. So man, if you want Voivod at their most primitive and raw, in your face, is a good record. So their debut from 1984, if I didn't mention that. So yep, that is War and Pain, but I still suggest Killing Technology of their first three. But yep, War and Pain. So this one, I didn't even know was pressed through Roadrunner until I was doing research for this video, but apparently it was, so that's cool. So it came out in 1985, one of the best first wave black metal albums in my opinion. Let's go to Italy. This is Bulldozer with The Day of Wrath. So not my favorite by them. That would be the third record. What is it? NIX, I think. IX. I don't remember which one, but it's one of those ones. The one with like the dude looking to the side kind of was destroyed. But yeah. If you don't know Bulldozer, they were an Italian thrashy black metal band. I mean, it was back in '85, so black metal wasn't really defined back then, obviously, so it's kind of hard to tell. You could argue they're more thrash or black metal, but because back then you only had like the first Bathory EP, the first Bathory albums. I mean, the first two, the Sodom EP, maybe Possessed, but then you didn't really have much. So it's kind of hard to define what was thrash, what was black metal back then. But yeah, definitely one of the best bands from the early scene. Their first three albums are all stellar though. But yeah. Anyway, there's the front of that one, and then the back. They look very Italian. There's something about the Italian black metal bands. They all look pretty goofy, which is cool. There's a Shadow Kingdom reissue from 2022. So yeah. Again, if you like just simple, awesome, thrashy first wave black metal, this is a awesome record to check out. So that is Bulldozer, The Day of Wrath. But I still say the two after this I like better than this one, but this one is a very good start for this band though, regardless. So yep, Bulldozer, The Day of Wrath, 1985. Speaking of Merciful Fate and the King Diamond, you knew this had to be on the list. King Diamond, Abigail. I've mentioned my love for this record a bunch. You're probably sick of me talking about it, but yeah. This is a music on vinyl reissue from 2014. Obviously put out through, I believe, Fatal Portrait up through The Eye was on Roadrunner. I think after that they went to Metal Blade, but don't quote me. I don't remember if Spider's Lullaby was on Roadrunner or Metal Blade. It was one of those two, but yeah. Favorite songs in this one, probably The Seventh Day of July, 1777 has always been my favorite. Or probably the title track. Those definitely the two highlights, but specifically this 1777 and the 7th day of July. Awesome stuff, but yeah. Anyway, there's the front. Definitely one of the best cover arts of all time also, which obviously Dissection ripped it off later for the Symbolic, but I've mentioned that before. And then we got the back, the King, the classic lineup, because you still have Mickey D behind the kit, which is awesome. And after this, she went to Dawkins and then Motorhead, which rules. Just black, but I like, even though it's a Metal Blade music on vinyl reissue, I still like how they replicated the old Roadrunner labels, though. It's pretty sweet. Even though this is my favorite King Diamond record, ironically, my favorite song is actually on Conspiracy. It's definitely Sleepless Nights. That's easily their best song, but yeah. King Diamond, Abigail. Most of the King stuff I think is awesome, but this is definitely the highlight, so yep. King Diamond, Abigail, 1987. So this is a weird one, because this band has never been signed to Metal Blade. This band has never been signed to Roadrunner, but for some reason this was actually put out through Roadrunner, so I'm not sure what the deal was with this, but let me show you the J code. What is that? This is Sodom, Moral Way of Life. So this is their first live record that was recorded on the Persecution Mania tour, which rules. So the track listing is Persecution Mania, Outbreak of Evil, Conqueror, Iron Fist, Obsessed by Cruelty, Nuclear Winter, Electrocution, Blasphemer, Enchanted Land, Sodomy and Lust, Christ Passion, Bomb Hangle, and My Atonement. So killer set list, and definitely if you've seen the footage on YouTube, definitely one of the best thrash metal live records from the 80s, if not ever. I love that painting. It's awesome. I wish they would reissue this on vinyl, but I wish they would reissue a lot of this stuff on vinyl, because if you want to get some albums on vinyl for a good price, good luck with that. They're expensive. So there's the tape. Yeah, they've been, I think they've been signed to Steam Hammer the entire time, so not sure why this was put out through Roadrunner instead of Steam Hammer, but oh well. So yep. Sodom, More Way of Life, 1987. Killer live record, one of my favorites. So I'll eventually do a favorite live records video, and that will definitely be on the list. Alrighty, here's one I'm sure you saw coming. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, definitely the best record in my opinion. Gun to my head, if I didn't name my all-time favorite thrash record, this is the one I'm choosing, man. Every song on this record is a complete masterpiece, banger after banger. Favorites, though? Probably Mass Hypnosis or Primitive Future. Those are definitely the two highlights, but every other song's awesome, too. Like Inner Self, the title track. But yeah, definitely Sepultura's high point, in my opinion. Though Arise is up there, too, but it's definitely those are the two. Schizophrenia, Arise, and Beneath are definitely the trilogy. And Morbid Visions rules too. After Arise, Cassidy's good, and then after that, no bueno, but yep. Anyway, there's the front of that one. Very awesome, obviously. Then the back, this is a Roadrunner 2017 reissue, which I got the box set, which I've shown before, so this is where I got that, because it was cheaper to buy the box set than them all individually. A very nice orange, which usually albums that are half clear kind of sound like crap, because my version of Hell Awaits is the same color and it sounds basically borderline unlistenable, but I guess they did a better job at mixing this or whatever, because it actually sounds pretty good, so that rules. I would have been annoyed if this would have sounded bad, but I have the CD too, so oh well. Here's the inner sheet, which I don't keep it in, obviously, but there you got the like lyrics and stuff, so yep. Yeah, man, definitely if I had to say my all-time favorite thrash record, this is probably my answer, gun on my head, but yeah. Every song's a total banger, definitely their high point. They're first on Roadrunner, because I believe the first two were on like smaller labels, and this was also their first. Produced by Scott Burns and more sounds, so you know it sounds killer, which is awesome, so yep. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, definitely. I'm gonna say my favorite album I'm gonna talk about today is definitely this, so yep. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, definitely one of the best thrash records and one of my, honestly, top 10 favorite albums of all time in general, so that is Beneath the Remains, 1989, if I did not mention that. Immortal Way of Life, I think, was 88 or 87, I know Agent Orange was 89, so it was before that. Talk about another album from 1989, I got a few more from 89. Hi! Pestilence, Consumer Impulse. This is a top 5 death metal album of all time for me, and I can make an argument in my like top 2 or 3, but yeah. Definitely the highlight, I think it was up through Spheres they were on Roadrunner. After that, I'm kind of whatever with Pestilence, though I do like the last couple records have been a good return to form, but yeah. I know it was this, at least the first 3 were on Roadrunner, I believe, so yeah. Favorite tracks on this one? Probably Dehydrated, Out of the Body, Echoes of Death, and Reduced to Ashes, but every song on this record is a total banger. So unfortunately, this is their last record with Martin Van Buren, which is unfortunate, but I think Testimony worked better for the other guy because they got like more technical direction on that album, so if it had Van Buren, it would have been kind of odd to hear Van Buren singing like Trial of like Land of Tears or whatever, but yeah. He definitely fit well for the first 2 records because they were more thrashy at the time, and they didn't lose the thrash until Testimony, because this still has some of the thrash, but it's mostly pure death metal at this point anyway, so yep. Front cover, definitely one of the most iconic cover arts in death metal. You just see this picture without it and you instantly know who it is. Like, you literally see like half the picture and you would instantly know what album it is, but anyway. There's the front, killer, and the back. Tracks, Hammerheart reissue from 2015, I think. I've had this for a while, so just black vinyl. I know there was a couple different variants, but the black was the cheapest, and I bought from Hammerheart directly, which is kind of expensive, so that's why I went from the black instead of the upcharged other colors, but yeah. Definitely one of the best death metal albums of all time, and definitely as far as like a vocal performance, this is definitely, I think, Martin's peak as a singer, so yep. Killer, that is Pestilence, Consumer Impulse, 1989. This is, I think, let me see. Yeah, I got like 3 more from 89, so that was definitely the year that won this video for sure. So I have like 5 albums just from 89, which is awesome. Let's go to Germany. Paradox, Heresy. So of all the German bands, this is probably the band that sounds the least German of all of them. Like some bands you hear it, you instantly know they're Germany. If you would hear this, you would think they were from the Bay Area. From like this could easily be like a 1990 Bay Area record, not an 89 German record. If you heard this, you'd be like, what the fuck, they're German? Because like the vocals doesn't have any like German accent. The music is more like Bay Area style. I mean, this basically sounds like first 2 albums, Era Forbidden Worship, though I probably like this better than Forbidden Evil, but maybe more than Twisted in the Form, it's hard to say, but I definitely like it more than Forbidden Evil, that's for sure, but yeah. Killer record, definitely the best in my opinion. The debut's good too, but it's okay, but this one is definitely by far the best and blows away the debut out of the water, so anyway. There's the front, cool painting. Then the back. Again, Roadrunner, like I said, 1989. I doubt this is an original press because it was still in a shrink wrap when I bought it, so I'm pretty sure this is a reissue. Doesn't say what year this is a repress from, so I'm not sure, but yeah. Favorite song on this one is definitely the title track or 700 Years On. Those are the 2 highlights, but every song on this rules, so yep. Again, if you like Bay Area thrash, but you want a band from Europe playing that style, this is definitely an awesome record. So again, Paradox, Heresy. And speaking of a European band playing in American style, let's talk about another thrash banger. This is Xander, Shattered Existence. I've had this for like 6 months. I've never even talked about it. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I stopped doing updates for a while, so I never got around to talking about this banger. But yeah. Again, like the Paradox, a European band playing a Bay Area style, which honestly, a lot of the UK bands basically just copied the Bay Area as far as their thrash scene goes, which is kind of like one of the downfalls of the UK thrash. They didn't really have their own identity, but they did it well, so who cares, I guess. I know people prefer their second record, but this one is definitely by far my favorite. Though I like their first 2 records and their last 2. They did 2 in the middle that were kind of not good, but at least they have returned to form in recent years. But yeah, favorites on this one: No Compromise, Dark Enemy, and Reasons for Destruction, especially Reasons of Destruction. It's definitely their best song. It would be cool if they came to the US, but I doubt that'll happen ever, so I'll probably have to go to the UK to see them, but oh well. So this is a Music on Vinyl 2022 reissue, so I've had this since, I feel like I got it in 2022, but I think I did, yeah, I got it in 2022, so yeah. Anyway, there's the front. I wish it didn't have this stupid, like, fake crack thing, but, oh, it's just kind of, like, pretty ugly looking, but oh well. Anyway, there's the front. Then the back, you got the tracks, again, the Roadrunner label. It says number 628. It doesn't say what it's limited to, so maybe 1,000, but who knows. Then you got the insert. I believe the guitarist is the only original member left in the band. They've had a new singer on their last couple records who also plays guitar, so I think it was the lead guitarist is the only original member left, but don't quote me on that. And then again, the cool replica Roadrunner Records label, which I like Music on Vinyl when they do that, because I don't like it when, like, a band puts out a record on a different label, and it's like, oh, it's originally put out through this label, it's going to be a different center label. It's kind of a nice touch to actually have the replica from the OG, so yep. Again, if you like Bay Area thrash, but you want a European band in a style, check it out, one of the best UK thrash albums. So that is Xander, Shattered Existence. Killer record, definitely the best in my opinion. Alright, last one from 1989, and then we'll go to a different year, finally. Madness in Hell from Annihilator. Definitely their best record. My problem with Annihilator is it's definitely for them it's quantity over quality, because a lot of the records kind of honestly suck, but they have like 4 I like maybe. Like the first 2, Criteria for a Black Widow, then the self-titled are good. Every other album has like a track or 2 on them that are good, but most of the albums as a whole kind of aren't very good. But this one and the first 2 are the only 2 I like every track, to be honest. But favorites on this one, probably Welcome to Your Death, Wicked Mystic, and Human Insecticide. Or Burns Like a Buzzsaw Blade too. Yep. I wish it would. And another problem with Annihilator, honestly, is they're like constant lineup changes. I believe the first 5 albums had a different singer on each album, which is not a good way to stay consistent as a band. But yeah, so if Jeff could have kept at least, well, I think he kept Dave Pardon for a while, but if he could have kept like Randy Rampage for a while, that would have been cool too, because he definitely had a better vocal approach than the guy who sang on Never Neverland. But he did come back on Criteria for a Black Widow, which is awesome. But yeah, so again, there's the front. Again, definitely one of the most iconic thrash albums of the 80s, or album covers rather. Then the back. This is a, doesn't say what year this is a reissue from, but oh well. And then you got the CD. Same, I feel like it's kind of like slightly technical, speedy Canadian thrash. This is definitely one of the best thrash albums from the Canadian scene. Yep. Annihilator, Alice in Hell, definitely their high point in my opinion. Though Never Neverland does rule too, but every time I forget which one's my favorite, I go back to Alice in Hell. No, that one's still the best. Never mind. Let's do these next 2 are from 1990, I believe. Dside self-titled. This isn't my favorite by Dside. It's actually Once Upon the Cross, but I don't own the album because it's kind of expensive and a pain in the ass to find, so I want to show this one instead, I guess. But yeah, definitely I would say the probably the most evil record, but I do argue that Once Upon the Cross has some of the most like evil songs, like Kill the Christian and We Are the Children of the Underworld and Christ Denied, which those are definitely some of their best songs. But yeah, on this one you do have Lunatic of God's Creation, Sacrificial Suicide, Dead by Dawn, the title track. But of all the songs, my favorite has always been Carnage of the Temple of the Damned. That's definitely the best song on their first 2 records in my opinion. But yeah, definitely I would say the most evil, though you could still hear a lot of like Darkness Descends from Dark Angel and like Pleasure to Kill from Creative, but just sped up to the next level on this record. So which I'm sure the band definitely won't deny that they were listening to those 2 records a lot back in the day, so which I'm sure every other death metal band was back then, but oh well. So anyway, there's the front. I like how his eyes are kind of lit up and super scary looking. So anyway, there's the front. Then the back, the guys in the band still got the classic lineup, obviously, because of their debut. Super thick sounding, which this album sounds fantastic, even though it's kind of clear, which clear kind of usually doesn't sound good, but because of how thick this album is, it's definitely one of the best sounding albums in my collection. So there you go. This is a Metal Blade reissue, which is kind of odd because they've never been signed to Metal Blade, so I'm not sure how they got the rights to repress this, but oh well, whatever. This doesn't come with anything, it's literally just the album and that's it, so I wish it would have had the lyrics, but oh well. Yep, again, Dside self-titled, but like I said, Once Upon the Cross is still my favorite, but I don't own that one, so I wanted to show something by them, but yep. Anyway, Dside self-titled. Again, if you don't know this album, I'm not sure why you wouldn't if you're watching this, but oh well. But like I said, if you want to check out one song, it's probably Carnage in the Temple of the Damned is definitely my favorite, but yep. Dside self-titled. Alrighty, another one from 1990. So I said Beneath the Remains is my favorite album from this list. This is probably number 2 as far as favorite albums from this list. Chopped in half, spilling blood from your mouth. Obituary, Cause of Death. Obituary for me, I love the first 3 records, and after that, no bueno. I know people love the record from last year. I'm not sure why, because it was pretty generic, but I don't know. They're kind of overhyped in my opinion, because I love the first three, but like I said, after that, they got pretty boring and generic, but their first three are definitely essential. They're good live, but I don't know, man. I just can't get into the new stuff, but oh well. Definitely their highlight, in my opinion. I'm definitely one of the people who prefers this over Slowly We Rock, but those first two are so great, though. But this has, like, all their best songs. You got, like, Infected, Body Bag, Chopped in Half, Finally Rise, the title track, Turn Inside Out, Memories of Death, even the Celtic Cross cover, which, so yeah. Banger after banger on this record. If I had to pick one favorite, it's definitely Chopped in Half. Chopped in half, spilling blood from your mouth. So yep, killer record, definitely the best. Anyway, there's the front, then the back, the guys in the band, track. Again, this is a listenable records reissue, which they're kind of notorious for screwing up sometimes, but luckily they didn't on this one. So good job, guys. Thank you for not ruining the cover of this album. Cool labels. Again, nice red and the all-seen eyeball. And then here's the insert. Again, supporting this good taste because they have a Sepultura beneath their main shirt on. Is that? Yeah, I think that's Daniel Tardy, so good job, Daniel. Then you got James Murphy here too, which rules. That's another reason why this is their best, because I think this has the best solos, because when you have James Murphy playing your solos, you're definitely going to have a killer album. So yep, Obituary, Cause of Death, After the Incomplete, no bueno, but the first three, there's no denying those are great. So I mentioned this record in my last collection update, but oh well. This is from 90, either 90 or 91, yeah, it's 91, okay, this is what I thought. So this Sadist Swallowed in Black. So like I said in my update when I talked about this, Chemical Exposure is definitely my favorite record by Sadist, but I would say this is probably the best, but the debut is my favorite though. So anyway, super aggressive Bay Area thrash, like I said back in the day, 1991. So yep, killer record. The first three were awesome, but this one is definitely their highlights. So anyway, there's the front. Kind of weird cover art. They've always had kind of not very good album artwork, but oh well. Then you got the back, again, another listenable records reissue, which finally got this because this was a pain in the ass to find, because a lot of the Sadist albums are pretty expensive, so this was actually a good deal, because the person I bought this from didn't know what they had, so thank you for that. And then here's the inner sheet. Yeah, I kind of blew through this one because I talked about it like 2 videos ago, so I don't want to repeat myself and talk about it again for a while, so yeah. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, go watch my last collection update, I'll describe it more, but anyway. For now, there you go. Sadist, Swallowed in Black. Alrighty, so as far as like the debut albums go, shit. Maybe my number one debut that I'm talking about today, though the next album up is contentious, but it's probably this one. Dawn Possession, Emulation. Definitely my favorite Emulation record, but they don't have a bad one, but I still think this is their high point in my opinion. I mean, you got songs like Into Everlasting Fire, Demented Souls, Those Left Behind, Buried Ground, After My Prayers, Fallen Demise, the song Emulation, which I believe when I saw them, the song Emulation was the only song they played off of this record, which was disappointing. I was hoping they would at least put into Everlasting Fire, but they didn't, so that was kind of a letdown, but oh well. They were still great, they were just, I kind of wished more songs from this record, so guys, if you're watching, play more songs from this, please, but yeah. Anyway, again, definitely one of the most iconic cover arts from all of death metal in the early days especially, so anyway. There's the front, I love that. Then the back, got the guys. Still got old. I believe, yeah, they still have 2 original members, so that's cool. Very unappealing cover. I don't know why they chose this. This doesn't match at all. It would have been cool on red, so I'm not sure why they decided to go for like this baby vomit brown. So definitely a odd decision, but oh well. Then you got the lyric sheet. Very cool. Again, close up of this. I had this album for a t-shirt rules, so yeah. Again, like I said, most Emulation you can't go wrong with, but this is still my favorite though, so yeah. They definitely, I know there's a lot of people like, as far as new death metal bands, usually bands that copy like Cannibal Corpse, so they copy Suffocation, they copy Incantation, they copy Morbid Angel. No one tries to copy Immolation because they know they can't do it because they have such a unique style that if it would be kind of hard to even attempt to emulate, let alone do it well. So I'm glad they're one of the bands where people have like taken influence from them, obviously, but it's, like as obvious as like the Incantation style that's popular nowadays, no one's tried to copy them, which I'm glad because they definitely did it the best, and they're still the kings because their last 2 records have been definitely, and not like the other ones were bad, but their last 2 specifically have been like a next level of awesomeness for a band this late in their career. Especially Atonement, man, that was awesome. But yep. So again, Immolation, Dawn of Possession. Definitely, if I had to name my favorite albums from the death metal scene from the U.S., this is definitely a top 10. I can make the argument it's top 5. It probably is, but yep. Anyway, Immolation, Dawn of Possession. Alright, so these, I got 2 more from 1991, then we'll go to 1 from 93. So like I said, why I was struggling picking my favorite debut record I'm talking about is because of this. Suffocation, Effigy, The Forgotten. Man, I don't know if I like this more than Dawn of Possession, but I would say, hard to pick, I can't answer that question. Pierce From Within is definitely, I would say this is better than Pierce From Within, but yeah. Anyway, the debut from 1991. Definitely, this is obviously the album that led to like brutal death metal stuff, because you had like, what was it? Leads in Veracity, that breakdown, the dun 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 dun. I mean, without that riff, man, so many bands wouldn't exist without that one song, and this one album specifically led to a bunch of copycats, and most of them kind of suck, but they were definitely the band that did it first and did it the best, man. Everything about this is like super groundbreaking, be it like the guitar tone, the production. I'm assuming Scott Burns, this sounds killer, and all his stuff sounds awesome. Like the guitar tones have the time, the vocals, the drumming, the riffing, the like breakdown heaviness, man. This record was so ahead of its time, and band is still trying to catch up to this 30 years later, man. What can you say? But besides Leads of Veracity and other highlights, probably Infesting the Crypts and Jesus Wept. Those are the other 3 highlights, but every song on this is a banger after banger, so yep. Suffocation, Effigy, The Forgotten. Definitely the best in my opinion, but I would say all the albums are awesome, but Blood Oath is the only one I'm kind of like... Blood Oath and the run from 2017 are the only 2 I'm kind of not in love with, but most of the other albums are awesome though. But this is definitely, I still think they're best though, so yep. Suffocation, Effigy, The Forgotten. Let's do another debut banger from 1991. Malevolent Creation, The 10 Commandments. Probably my favorite, let me see. Yeah, as far as consistency, these guys are definitely the most consistent band I'm going to talk about today because they don't have a bad record, which is impressive considering they have like 13 albums and they've never put out a shit one, which is awesome, so it's great to see. This is probably my favorite record by them, though. It's either this or The Will to Kill, which is definitely like a odd spacing because it's been like, that was like a 15-year gap between the 2, but oh well, so yep. Favorites on this one, probably Infected Suffrage, or probably Multiple Stab Wounds. Psychotic, Multiple Stab Wounds. Yep. It's killer, kind of thrashy death metal from Florida, which I know if they were originally from Buffalo, but like Cannibal, they moved from Florida, but I think they moved from Florida a lot long before Cannibal did, so yep. And of course it's produced by Scott Burns, so you know it sounds killer, so yep. Definitely a great start to one of the best death metal bands ever to come from the States, or just in general to ever come out, in my opinion. But yep. So there's Malevolent Creation, The 10 Commandments. Killer album. Alright, so this band I talked about in literally my last video, so I'm not going to talk about this one for very long, because I don't want to repeat myself again. So this is Golgot's version of Sandy. Like I said last time, this is basically like a mix of the first couple Sinister records and like the debut Suffocation. So it's basically like Effigy of the Forgotten mixed with Diabolical Summoning. So, yeah, Diabolical Summoning. I almost get that name, Diabolical Conquest, confused, but yeah. So definitely the best record. Honestly, all the other albums are awesome except Obscure. That album's kind of a like death metal band falling down a flight of stairs album, but the rest of the ones are good, but I still prefer the first two opposed to the more like technical, avant-garde, atmospheric era. But anyway, definitely the best though. So there you go. There you got the front, awesome painting by Dan Seagrave. Then the back, guys in the band. Not a very good fitting color. I'm not sure why they decided to go with this. It would have been better on like black or blue, but oh well. That's just me nitpicking. So again, go watch my last video if you want more elaboration about this record, because I don't want to repeat myself 2 videos in a row talk about the same album. That seems kind of pointless, but oh well. So there you go. There's Golgot's Erosion of Sanity. Definitely the best. Alright, so this band switched labels a lot in their career. A lot, even though they only had, I think, 7 albums. Yes, 7 albums. I believe this is the only one on Roadrunner. I could be mistaken, but it's definitely, I think, the only one on Roadrunner, but don't quote me on that. So this is Death Symbolic, 1995. I forgot to mention, Erosion of Sandy was 1993, so that's the only album from 1993. Oddly, I'm mentioning today, because that's my favorite year for death metal, so I'm not sure how that happened, but oh well. So like I said, Death Symbolic, one of my favorite death records, it's probably Human Leprosy, Scream Bloody Gore, and then this, so number 4 probably. Favorite songs in this one, the title track, Crystal Mountain, 1000 Eyes. The only song that was kind of odd at first was Misanthrope, because the weird like breakdown part, the da 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 da. That part always threw me off for some reason, but oh well. But yeah, killer record. Too bad sandwiched in between 2 that I honestly don't really love that much, because Individual is like mostly not very great, and I don't honestly the last album I don't really like at all, mainly because of the vocals, and they just got kind of like boring, which you could tell the last album Chuck wasn't feeling anymore. That seemed kind of disingenuous, because you could tell he was sick of death metal by that point. But yeah, so that's Symbolic, their last great record in my opinion, one of my favorite death metal albums from 1995, which is not a very good year for death metal. It's definitely my favorite year for black metal, is easily 95, but they were still some good diamonds in the rough though back then for death metal at least. So yep, Death Symbolic, not their best, but of the post-Human era, definitely the best though. So yep, again, Death Symbolic. Let's talk about a hardcore album, oddly, which I've never mentioned this band before on my channel, I think, so this was due for me to talk about this. So this is Madball, Demonstrating My Style, 1996 on Roadrunner. So these guys have a lot of albums. I've never heard most of them, honestly. Their first 3 and their last records I like a good amount, but the ones in between I'm not really familiar with. Though I do like, what is it, like, I think it's called Ball of Destruction. That's the like EP 7-inch thing from, I believe that was in between this and the DB, which don't quote me because I'm not really familiar with this band's discography, obviously. Favorite song on this one, probably Streets of Hate. Is definitely the best song that I've heard. Though the debut I would say is my favorite, Set It Off, because it's more like, that's faster, which this every album I would say is a little bit like the heaviest, but I still think the debut is their fastest album, so yeah. I feel like it's kind of heavy, hardcore from the mid-90s. This is awesome records anyway. There's the front. Cool cover art. Very gangster looking. Then the back, guys in the band. I believe the singer, his brother, is an agnostic front. Don't quote me on that. I know the vocalist on this band, I believe his brother is the singer of Agnostic Front, so it's either the singer or the guitarist one of those guys, so don't quote me on which is which, but yeah. Awesome band. That's the only album I own by them. I still need the debut, but I don't really listen to this that often, so I'm not in any hurry to buy anymore, but yeah. Good change for metal if you want some like kind of heavy hardcore. This is a killer record, so there's Madball demonstrating my style. But I still say Set It Off is still the best though. Alright, so let's end it with a total banger in my opinion. Going from 96 to 2005, so we're skipping 9 years ahead. This is Opeth Ghost Reveries. Definitely my favorite Opeth record. I've shown the vinyl before, so I want to show the CD to be different. Honestly, their last great record in my opinion. I like the album after this. What was it, Watershed? That's good, but it has some moments that are kind of odd, which this is definitely, I would say, their last fantastic album. Then after Watershed, when they became like total like dad rock, no thanks, I'm not into that. But anyway, favorites on this one: Ghost of Perdition, The Bane of the Hounds, and the Grand Conjuration. Definitely the 3 highlights, but I would say the Ghost of Perdition is definitely one of their like top 3 or 4 songs. The Ghost of Perdition. Yep. Killer record, definitely one of the best proggy death metal albums of all time in my opinion, and definitely I would say currently my favorite by Opeth, but I've changed my mind on which my favorite by them like 5 times, so at the present moment it's definitely Ghost Reveries, so yep. And this Opeth Ghost Reveries. Boom, so that's it. This was kind of a long one, guys, so thanks for staying with me. Next video, I'm going to do another episode of my like series where I go through and like show my favorite albums from each country scene, which you have to see which scene I'm going through next time, but it is one I'm sure if you enjoy that series, one you probably been waiting for me to do, and surprised I haven't done that sooner, but yep. So stay tuned for that. Not sure when that's going to be, but it'll be sometime soon-ish, so yeah. Thanks for watching, take care, peace out. Let me know what some of your favorite Roadrunner records are from back in the day, because a lot of the stuff they do nowadays I'm not into, but yeah. Thanks for watching, take care, peace out, hails.